This morning, the invocation will be offered by Pastor Ron Gannett of the Community Church of Saddlebrook, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be given by Supervisor Surdy. He didn't know that yet, but now he does. And then, so those who wish to participate, please stand. Oh, and by the way, happy April Fools to everybody.
All right, let's bow our heads together. Our Father in heaven, on this glorious week where we celebrate the risen Christ, we thank you for the many blessings you've given to us. And one of those, Father, is to live in this county and to enjoy the blessing and prosperity that you've given to us. And Father, we pray that you might bless our families and people today in a fresh way, and may they sense the love that you have for them. And Father, we also think of those that are serving us in our county, those in our police force and the firemen, the EMTs, and all the staff that work in the county. Lord, we thank you for them, and we pray that you protect them and keep them safe and allow them, Lord, just to sense your presence and love and our appreciation for them. And Father, we pray for the Board of Supervisors. We thank you for them and for their staff. And as they guide us and make decisions, give them wisdom that only comes from above. And so, Lord, today we commit ourselves and these proceedings to your loving care. For it's in the name of our risen Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Would you join me for the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. And to all, again, happy April Fools. No telling what might happen, right? Anyway, so welcome to the Pinal County Board of Supervisors, April 1st, 2026. We are in session. First item up is executive session, and I would ask that someone please give me a motion to convene executive session. I have a motion. Is there a second? I have a motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We're in executive session. We'll be back in a few. And adjourn the executive session.
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. We're back in regular session. And the second item is County Manager's Report. Mr. Liu.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman. First wanted to announce that if you remember, our summer internship program that we did for the first time last year is back. It was a good success, and applications are open right now to be accepted until April 15th. We're going to be doing interviews here in Florence on the 25th, on Saturday. The program itself is a 6-week program. It runs from May 28th through July 9th, to where they're paid internships and they get real-world work experiences here with the county and hopefully want to come back in the future. It's for high school and college students ages 16 and above. And then also we are working on developing an accounting internship program with the universities like a typical firm would do with students that are going to graduate in the near future and hopefully have offers and come work for us when they're done with school. And then we also recently had our employee well-being benefits fair. We have a video for that to show how that went and wanted to make sure that the employees know that open enrollment starts April 13th and is open until May 8th. But please look for that and sign up timely so that you don't have any complications there. Thank you.
This is our 3rd annual Health and Wellness Fair, and we invited all county employees to join us. Today we have over 20 vendors that represent every group from fitness to mental health care to financial support to insurance to dental. I think it's best to look at it from head to toe. We've got you covered with our vendors here today. this day is such a perfect day, St. Patrick's Day, because they get to find the treasure at the end of the rainbow. With the vendors here and the array of services, it allows employees to connect with what's right for them or their families. But you also get some good swag to take home and add to the junk drawer. You can get things from candy to squeeze balls and any number of other trinkets. And you get food. We know the best way to bring a group together and keep them smiling is to offer them some good food when it's all said and done. What I would hope the most is that every employee recognizes and feels that the event is full of caring people who care about each other, care about our county, and care about our community.
And that's it. Thank you, Chairman.
That's it, the end?
The end.
That's all, folks? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Liu. Next is the Supervisor District updates, and I will start with Supervisor Vitiello.
Thank you, Chairman. The NACO situation, I'm going to have Mr. Miller take care of that because I was in, so he'll talk about that, okay? Just
Okay.
make sure you know
Okay.
that. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Today, it's as usual, it's been a very, very busy couple weeks. We had a town hall in the city of Maricopa. We had a great turnout for that. I had a meeting with SRP and ED3 on a Marigold solar gas battery generated power down in the Stanfield area. We had a very, very good turnout for that. City council meeting for the city of Coolidge. I tend to go to that once a month. Virtual meeting with Pinal County to learn about taxes and energy. So keeping myself up on the situation with the taxes and also the energy. It was a virtual meeting. Sunridge Power virtual meeting, again, trying to keep myself up on what's going on. Then again, down in Stanfield, we had the SRP meet and greet with Fire Safety Alliance, and the turnout was probably about 40 or 50 people showed up for that solar project, gas project, as I said. Then on the 27th, just on Friday and Saturday, we had the Hidden Valley cleanup, which turned out very well. I haven't gotten the numbers yet. I'll have those probably in 2 weeks. Also, CSA Legislative Policy Meeting. It's an update of listening to what's going on policy-wise with the County Supervisors Association to hear what our state legislators are bringing forth and what we're contesting and, on top of them with. Then Maricopa had Maricopa Chamber had an economic development meeting, which was turned out very nice. I was with a couple state senators, and that turned out very well. Maricopa in its third year of doing the Wild West Music Festival. So we did it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The turnout was pretty good. You could check out some of those videos. Also, on that same day, something very near and dear to my heart is a friend of mine, Izzy Calderon. We had our 10th anniversary softball tournament. He's in a vegetated state. He was on a major accident in a 347, which is one of the three top worst roads in the state of Arizona, which you might have all heard that we are finally going to get widened and fixed and have some overpasses. We had 14 teams. We raised probably around $15,000. Every year we do this. Every dime, no matter what it is, goes to the family because, again, he's got bills to pay for. He was also very close to me because he was on my team for like 7 out of the 10 years so that I've known him. We had the Boys and Girls Club. Very, very big turnout for the Boys and Girls Club. That is Dancing with the Stars, and a local firefighter, Richard Jackson, one of our local firefighters, won. And I have to post the video when I get my hands on at it. If anybody knows Reno 911, he is a firefighter, and he dressed up like Reno 911. It was hilarious, and he crushed it. Also, the Maricopa Food Pantry very, very important to the people out in Hidden Valley Thunderbird Farms. Serves about 1,900 people every single week. I was honored to give volunteer awards out, 38 awards I was able to give out. And then yesterday, we had ASU Decision Theater. It was a great meeting, and me and Mr. Goodman were able to pretty much lead the meeting about what's going on in Pinal County, roads-wise, transportation-wise, and what is needed in our districts. But this is the whole thing that I'm sure Mike will give a little update on that, because Decision Theater, it's basically costing us nothing to run this Decision Theater, and it's going to help us build transportation together and put all the cities and towns together in Pinal County. But that's all, folks. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Sturdy, do you have a comment?
Construction has started to make a longer, deeper merge lane on Kings Ranch Road because of the bottlenecks there. We're going to talk about dark skies here in a little bit, which pertains to our area, especially, and the whole county. And just an update to let people know, because it was a big controversy when it was happening, but the county is working to write more favorable codes for animal husbandry, and we're taking our time to get this right rather than rush into something. So rest assured, animals are safe, and what you've always been doing will be allowed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Supervisor Miller, do you have a update?
Sure.
Or you make one up?
I'll start out with the National Counties of Governments Month. April is the National Counties Month. Do we have a proclamation here that I want to thank Governor Hobbs for this proclamation. And I'm going to be real honest with you all that 13 years ago when Sherry Clough put this on the agenda and I was the chair, I was like, what's this all about? Anyway, when you step back and look at the United States of America, there's over 3,000 counties. And counties are somewhat different in other parts of the country, that they really are the governance of the local people in those areas. So it's a worthy note to make sure that everybody knows that these county governments are important to our society and to our civil discourse, and so I want to thank the governor for that proclamation. I did attend the Dancing of the Stars, had different opinions of some of those awards, but anyway, that's beside the point. I think that it is a great organization. I want to tell you, the Boys and Girls Club had, I know Matt Lindbergh personally. I actually coached him in soccer when he was a little kid. But he's taken that organization and taken it countywide, and he does provide a service for so many of the youth. Our society is quite different. Moms and dads works, a place for the kids to go, and they have great programs there and nurturing those children with different types of things. So a big shout out to the Boys and Girls Club for that event, and happy to participate in it. And I'll leave it at that right now. But I'll have some, on the next item, I do have some
Okay.
stuff on the legislation.
Thank you, Supervisor. And Supervisor Goodman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. On April 24th and 25th, we have our community cleanup, and it just so happens that on the 25th, it's the Love Your Community Day. And what the invite is to everybody in their communities to volunteer to help in that process of cleaning up, doing some things for other individuals. It's a day of service. And we have the opportunities that are available, and all they need to do is get on our website and they can sign up for any particular project that we have. We have a number of them going on in our district as far as cleanup and things of that nature. The cool thing about these cleanups is it's a free dump day. You bring it to our yard out there in Santan Valley, and they actually unload it for you. So that's a big plus. For me, that's a great thing because I hate unloading. That's why I take my grandkids with me. The other thing is that we had a breakfast Friday morning. We had a breakfast for our community breakfast, and we actually invited the Pinal County's workforce, and they came and did a presentation of all the different things that are available through the workforce to help train individuals and to get more involvement. We have a lot of our school districts and charter schools that participate in that breakfast. And so they were able to glean a lot of information from that, and then they also had a lot of questions that was pertinent and important that they could get out and distribute to the students. You know, on a different note, we've got Easter coming up. We celebrate pretty much, you know, I was in Costa Rica a few years ago, and they actually shut things down for a whole week to celebrate Christmas. I mean, Easter, a little bit of a reverse that we do here in our country, to say the least, but nonetheless, it is a special day that I think that it's an opportunity for us to do good for each other and be in that light. I think we could use a lot of that more in our society as a whole. So for my district, there's the things as far as Santan Valley is going. They're progressing quite a bit. They seem to be taking quite a few of our employees, which is okay with me because
No.
it's okay with me. We're going to be making some budget cuts anyway, and we're going to be shifting that budget over to them anyway. So let's let them take the ones that have a vested interest in this
find
area.
their own people.
Okay, but they did. They found them. They found them with us, and they're well trained. And so it's going to be great to be able to work with these individuals moving forward in a monumental opportunity that we have to see a brand new city community start up like they are. So, and they're doing a good job. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
They're like gypsies. They're taking all the kids and going to their place.
Hey, take them. We got to move them out some point, right?
Okay. For District 4, let's see, where to start. I had a town hall the other night in Oracle at the Mountain Vista School, or Tuesday, actually, to help allay some of the fears of the 5G wireless network that's going in by the county, putting 34 towers around the county that are tied to the 315 or 20-mile data system that goes through all the schools and all the libraries. So we're putting these antennas on at schools and libraries and Town of Mammoth. They're separate, but that was their library. And it's to be able to better communication through broadband internet. It's separate from the BEAD project. There's a whole nother program going out to do last mile project. But anyway, I was out there doing that the other night. Let's see. I've got, I do have a video. How about that? Can't read my own notes, so. Thank you.
It's my kind of video. Wow.
So that's an air curtain destroyer, if you will. So this is one that the Pinal County owns. Thank you, Ms. Redding. I believe you did some of that. Just to call you out, because I'm looking right at you. But this started a couple years ago. I've got request into Congress for some appropriations to get money for Oracle to be able, a larger burner than that, to be able to keep up with the debris. Public Works uses that for, they can go around the county and get rid of their trash from road cleanups. But this is especially important for Oracle because they're a Firewise community, and so you're supposed to clear all the brush away from your home and on your property to keep the fires from occurring, which is something we had last summer, the Cody Loop. And with everybody clearing the brush, you got to take it someplace, right? What are you gonna do? You gonna dump it? It's expensive to dump it. So there's a place in Oracle on the old road easement that they come and they dump their brush. Well, that's great, and then it's like this room on steroids, the size of it, it's huge, and it gets so full, now what do you do with it? So the fire department was burning it before, and they'd go out on a Saturday morning and they'd burn it, and they'd put it out, and it's kind of practice for them, but it's also because they could control it. Problem was, they couldn't burn too much because you have to buy a permit from, guess who, air quality, us, and it was, so much money, and they could only burn a small amount, really, and the amount was about the size of this whole dais right here. That was it. That's all they could burn. And it had to be if there was no wind, and the rain was, and the weather was just right, and oh my gosh, there's no kids at school, it's a whole big problem. So we started working down the air curtain. And then they said, well, we could get a bigger permit. Well, then that was like $2,500, and that would allow them to burn about 3 times the size of this dais. Well, that still doesn't keep up with it. So that's where we come back to the burner. And so right now, the county is loaning it to Oracle to burn down their trash so they can get rid of that, so they can fill it back up again. And so we'll keep rotating it around the county, but that's what this is for. So it's a great project. Thank you,
Is
Natasha.
that thing propane?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think it's a propane burner, and you light the thing up and you get it hot, and then once it gets hot, it makes convection currents. It keeps the smoke down in the box so it doesn't send smoke everywhere. It's a pretty cool unit. So anyway, that's that. And then we've had requests to let you know what our litigations are costing us, our conflicts with the county attorney. And I see some nods out there. So to date, let's see. So the legal and investigative services to address County Attorney Miller's violations of employment laws and county policies, his noncompliance, is $191,000 so far to the end of February. Okay. Legal services for ongoing litigation regarding the county attorney for entering into the 287 task force agreement, 287G task force agreement, which we believe exceeded his statutory authority, without coming to the board for approval, because that's an intergovernmental agreement, and we approve all those, even though departments sign in them. We approve them because we're the fiduciaries for the county. And so no individual department can encumber the county for any services unless they come through us. That's $66,000 through the end of February. Still going. And regarding the status of that litigation, the board, we filed a lawsuit regarding the legality of the county attorney entering into this agreement. And the county attorney's counsel responded, and the board's counsel will be filing a reply this Friday, which will be made public as soon as it's turned in. We'll make it public. Then the court's scheduled to meet with counsel on April 9th to determine how to move forward with the case and begin scheduling for the eventual trial. That is my report. So, thank you very much. Next is item number 4, discussion and update regarding the 2026 Arizona State Legislative Session. Supervisor Miller, you're up.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just real quick, I'll go over a couple of items. SCRs are things that will be put on the ballot that doesn't require the governor's signature if it passes the House and the Senate. So just FYI, this 1012, 1012 is another way for the state to shove costs down onto the county for the court system. And it's a real awkward situation here with the courts because the court employees all are state employees. Their paycheck says Pinal County. Their insurance card says Pinal County, but they are state employees and they don't fall under our HR rules. They don't follow under virtually anything else. For division judges, we pay 50% and the state pays 50%. But for all the pro tems and all the other judges that they use in the system, we pay 100% of their retirement and the whole thing. So it gets very, very expensive. And they're trying to shove more costs down onto us is the bottom line. And we just really want to try and shove those expenses back to the state level. So anyway, be aware of that. It could get on a ballot at some point, and it'll be very expensive if it passes. There's another one that may not, I don't know, I understand there's been some changes to it. That's SCR 2016, which is again back to telling us how we're going to run our elections, and we would have to buy millions of dollars of equipment to meet the mandate of the statute if it passes. So it's something to pay close attention to. I think Dana had a brief conversation with me. They may have changing some of that language, but nothing is safe till they go sine die. And then there's another one out there, SCR 2010 or 2001, 2001. That is a tax holiday, which sounds good, and I can see that on the ballot is getting passed. But what it does is it definitely will reduce the revenues of the county. And if we have to take those types of cuts that they're projecting in our revenues, there'll be a lot of services we'll have to cut because we'll just have to, we won't have the money to fund them. So I'll let Dana do a little more detail on some of this stuff. She's a lot better at it than I am. Oh, and I do have two other things. CSA's legislative policy. We had HCR, we oppose as written, so there might be some movement on that. And then what was the other one here? House Bill 2307, we oppose it as written as well. There may be some changes on a couple of those. But Dana, I'll turn it over to you at this point, if that's okay, Chairman.
That's fine with me.
Chairman McClure, members of the board, Dana Lewis, Pinal County Recorder, and here to talk about some updates in legislation. Today is the 80th day of the legislative session, and the governor has signed 8 bills so far and has vetoed 16. The legislature is done with committees for this session, with the exception of conference committees. Conference committees are when the when the House and Senate pass 2 slightly different versions of a bill, and neither side really agrees, so then they get together with the other chamber and they decide as a committee then which should become law. A conference committee composed of 3 members from each chamber is then created, and hopefully they get to an agreement. A conference committee has been created for HB 2874, which deals with campaign committee terminations. Campaign finance reform has been a bipartisan effort, and we've seen this at the legislature for the last few years. The governor signed the year's second election-related bill, SB 1029, which outlines campaign finance processes if a candidate dies. Several election-related bills died in committee this past week, such as one that ACA was opposed to, which was poll worker jury duty bill. We offered amendment language on that. As an association, it just didn't have what it needed to go anywhere else. And then the one that ACA was supporting and actually had given language for was the MVD wet signature bill. We already capture electronic signatures from the MVD system for voter registration. What we know is that the MVD also gets wet signatures from a paper form. And we were working with them to establish that in law. Plus, some of that part of law right now is very clunky. We would like to streamline it and bring it up to date. We were hoping this was going to go somewhere. It's okay, we'll bring it back again. But what's really great is it opened a conversation with our partners at MVD. So we're already looking at administrative fixes for that. So that's a win, folks. The Arizona Association of Counties Legislative Policy Committee met on Monday, the 30th, and selected to oppose as written HB 2825. It's one of the ones that Mr. Miller is speaking about regarding fines, fees, assessment, restitution, and non-payments. Again, offering language. Our job with ACO and with CSA is this is what we do. We understand our processes and how policy affects them. We try to offer language to assist this in getting across where it needs to be or where the hard stops are for us with process. One that is the HCR 2016 was a Keschel bill, and that would have required all counties to go precinct-based. The language was, again, not right, and she did remove that bill. It did not go any further. They're probably going to use that, or they were going to use that as a striker bill. We're not seeing anything at this point. One to be watching, there has been a lot of movement and many stakeholder meetings. HCR 2001, SCR 1001. This was originally a resolution proposed to stop early voting the Friday before, or early ballot mail the Friday before the election, to again give us the ability to have government-sponsored voter ID, which was a win, especially for our tribal communities. Again, we don't want foreign money in our elections, and we want to look at dark money. So it was a lot of that. There was a lot of things that recorders and elections directors were very supportive. We found out last minute that there was amendment language. We started reaching out to our legislatures. Now a lot of the things that we were very supportive of seem to have gone away. And what they've done is they've put in tabulation at the polls, then removed the language that would require identifying the funding source. It's a constitutional amendment as well. I believe that bringing things to the voters is a great thing. I get a little bit worried when we have too many resolutions or citizens initiatives. We do end up with voter fatigue or ballot fatigue, and it takes up a lot of real estate on our precious ballots. But again, this really looks like it's going to go to the voters. Are working to try to, again, be meeting with these stakeholders about what this looks like financially for counties. Some of the information we did provide is that if they do not identify that funding source, Pinal County, if I'm being conservative in my numbers, would incur about a $3.5 million cost. That doesn't even touch if they required manual tabulation. So that is a whole other thing. I don't even know that we can ballpark that number at this point if that's what their intent with this language is. Again, resolutions, citizen initiatives, take it to the ballot, so we're always watching those. Some other things not really doing with legislation, but then do have a trickle-down effect. We reviewed the president's executive order, and in evaluating the impact, our preliminary understanding is that this is not a major change in policy for Arizona. It's kind of like what we're seeing at the federal level with the SAVE Act. The envelope barcoding provision is already in practice here, and we currently utilize the data from the SAVE system quite effectively. Tying that with Arizona's HAVA checks, the Help America Vote Act checks, it means that we have these additional lists that we utilize, and it helps keep our voter rolls clean. Then bring in a tertiary system, just questioning some of the dates with that. Our concern is that the data being shared, they're saying 60 days before the election, while the national or the Federal National Voter Registration Act provision has bulk processing stopping at 90 days. So we're we're running into each other here. So we're watching. As always, as the Pinal County Recorder, our office, we're required to comply with state and federal laws. Another one that was recently brought up that, again, people get really concerned when they see bylines in the papers, RNC versus Watson. This about post-election day mail grace periods. Arizona is a received by state. I have to have that ballot in my hot little hands by 7 p.m. on election night. It's not whatever the postmark on that ballot envelope says. And so that's where we're at on legislative report. I can stand for questions.
I don't have any questions particularly. Do you have? I mean, okay, well, so one, you're saying how $3.5 million if we were to tabulate at the precinct, but that was just, I mean, the equipment cost alone was like almost $2.7 million. Mm-hmm. And then you had to store it for a few $100,000. And that doesn't include the security that we would have to have and the video systems up to keep everybody honest.
Chairman McClure.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah, Chairman McClure, members of the board, that is accurate. We've shared this information with the members that have been in various stakeholder meetings. That is a concern. You built me a big, beautiful building with a 20-year plan. This type of implementation, we're probably looking at a 5 to 7 year plan.
And if they go to hand counting, which is just, I mean, in my opinion, because I'm given it, is a disaster because it just takes forever to do. I mean, a stack of 20 ballots, two-sided, 2 pages, took something like 43 minutes to count between 2 people. And that's if they get it right.
Right, Chairman McClure, members of the board, because the language is a bit soft, I would say, that's why we've been having these stakeholders. We have an amazing chain of custody process that we utilize during in-person early voting. The requirement to require tabulation during in-person early voting, I don't know that it is needed. Again, that was one of the opinions that was offered during a stakeholder meeting. Again, tabulating at the polls, they claim, issues or whatnot. If we go to tabulation of the polls, we have an amazing team in Pinal County. I don't question that. I don't question our training abilities. Again, space, cost. Just when you have an upfront cost, when we're talking about millions of dollars, that does not look at your overall cost afterwards. Additionally, we're looking in the next few years, we've already been in talks with our procurement department, because when they update with the Election Assistance Commission from the federal level, we'll already be in a space where we're going to be having to update some of our election equipment. So, we could be hit back to back. So these are just things that sometimes the stakeholders who are writing this legislation, they have these great ideas, but don't always understand all of the processes. So that's when they bring people like us to the table to talk about it.
I always say that, laws are written by well-intentioned people that don't really know what's going on. So that's great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I'm sorry, Supervisor Miller.
To add on to that, these constitutional changes through the election cannot be amended afterwards. I mean, it's in stone. And I mean, maybe you go and litigate it before the Superior Court or someplace down the line, but man, they're hard, fast, and you can't change them.
Chairman McClure, Mr. Miller, members of the board, you are correct. This SCR, HCR is meant to be a constitutional amendment and thus would be voter protected.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So when you vote for these types of things, understand that they're in stone. They're virtually impossible to change, and they can be very costly and not as effective as everybody thought they were going to be. That's my opinion. Thank you.
And any other questions? Hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Lewis,
You got it.
appreciate it. And since I have the gavel, I forgot to mention one thing on the supervisor updates, and that is that this Saturday is free dump day at the Deepwell Ranch landfill. So all you folks out there that have, 30 or 40 tires in your yard and a couple beds, go out and dump your stuff. So Deepwell landfill. Thank you.
Jeff?
Yes, sir.
I forgot one thing. Sorry, Chairman.
You don't
One
get,
thing.
you don't get to. Go ahead.
I also want to mention, actually, tomorrow, we'll be doing a ribbon cutting for our Ralston Bridge opening in Hidden Valley. It's been less than a year. We expected that to be done in 1 year, and we were able to do it 3 months earlier. So I want to thank the crew out there. I want Development Services, everybody who was involved with that bridge to get that done 3 months earlier than expected. So for the people online, if they're watching in Hidden Valley Thunderbird Farms, 10 a.m. tomorrow at Ralston Road, right at the bridge area. So hopefully I'll see you there at 10 a.m. Thanks.
All right,
Sorry.
thank you. Okay. Item number 5, discussion, approval, disapproval of a proclamation recognizing the week of April 11, 2026 through April 17, 2026 as Week of the Young Child in Pinal County. The proclamation will be read by Ms. DeVinny. First things first, and I believe you are also the presenter. If you'd like to come present, tell us about it, and then we'll vote on it, and then you can read it, please.
Okay. Good morning, Chair McClure. Good morning, board members. Would you like me to talk about it first before I read it?
Yeah, you do that, then we vote, and then you get to read it, yes.
Okay. Early childhood in Pinal County is in crisis, as it is across most of the state of Arizona and our country. But to give you perspective, here in Pinal County, we have an average of 80% gap. So in some areas, like I was just out in Maricopa, they have a 59% gap. But then I was in Eloy, and they have a 90% gap. So what I'm talking about with gap is the number of young children that you have, birth to age 5, against the number of center-based slots that are available for those children for quality early childhood education. So I certainly appreciate the Board of Supervisors putting their support behind the importance of early childhood, but at the same time, it's not just this week, it's everyday life. And as Pinal County is growing in so many ways, housing, big business, the mines, we have a key piece of that infrastructure that is not growing and is in crisis. And so I invite Ed, the board, and anyone listening today to come to the table and talk to us about it. We're here with solutions. It has to be done on the local level. That's what we're learning. The help isn't coming in this current environment, correct? So we have to solve this problem ourselves. And there are ideas from around the state, there are ideas from around the country. So we just invite anyone to come to the table and discuss how, we help these children that 90% of their brain is developed by the time they're 5. So it affects everything. It affects third grade reading levels. It affects high school attainment and the rest of their lives. To put them into that quality early learning environment is just critical. It's critical for your future workforce as well. So I really appreciate the board taking a stand and making sure that you support the importance of early childhood education.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Devaney? Hearing none, may I please get a motion on this item?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. And Ms. Devaney, would you please read the proclamation? Thank you. And then, by the way, after that, don't run away because we're going to do a picture, okay? Yeah.
Thank you. By the Pinal County Board of Supervisors proclamation, Week of the Young Child, April 11th through April 17th, 2026. Whereas all of Arizona's children deserve access to quality early care and education, ECE, environments, and whereas quality child care programs build children's lifelong learning skills during the critical years from birth to age 5. And whereas ECE teachers and child care providers are the essential workforce that helps Arizona parents get to work and school. And whereas funding quality early child care is a smart investment that improves family well-being, strengthens communities, and grows our state's prosperity. And whereas Arizona Association for the Education of Young Children, First Things First, and other community organizations, in conjunction with the National Association of the Education of Young Children, are celebrating the 53rd anniversary of the Week of the Young Child. And whereas these organizations are working to improve equitable early childhood opportunities that provide a strong start for children in Pinal County. And whereas public policies that support ECE for Arizona's youngest learners help our families, communities, and the economy thrive. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pinal County Board of Supervisors, April 11th through 17th, 2026, as the Week of the Young Child in Pinal County, Arizona, and encourage all citizens to support and invest in early care and education in our community. Proclaimed this first day of April, 2026.
Okay, let's, picture time, right?
Yeah.
Picture time, here we go.
Do I get the pretty one? I wish my hair went to what your hair does. This is only when I notice how short I am.
I'm Kevin today. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'll do 3. Thank you much.
All right, item number 6, discussion, approval, disapproval of another proclamation recognizing the week of April 13, 2026, through April 20, 2026 as International Dark Sky Week in Pinal County. And the proclamation will be read into the record by Ms. Peterson, Isabel Peterson, Chair of the Gold Canyon Dark Sky Committee. And the presenter is going to be Ms. Van Driel. I knew you were there someplace. Hi there.
Good morning. Good to see you. Connie Van Driel from Apache Junction, Supervisor Chairman McClure, and Vice Chair Surtee, and members of the board. Happy to be here and honored to represent this group that asked me to give a brief history of the group. So I'll do that, but also recognizing that this proclamation honors our oldest natural resource in the United States and in the state of Arizona and here in Pinal County, our dark skies. So this effort began back in 2023 when Gold Canyon Community, Inc. came before the board with the first proclamation to honor a Dark Skies Week, International Dark Skies Week. After that, our office got together with them because there was a lot of discussion and controversy over lighting ordinances in the county. So in order to get some professional and expert advice, we got the International Dark Sky community involved with our district. And out of that, your district administrators joined us and helped us make a countywide collaboration. So it did expand, and we've had key successes. We've had residents engaging throughout events and educational events throughout the county. We activated a public outreach through media, education, and park programs, and we couldn't have done it without our county departments and our county staff. They've been just amazing, and I want to give a shout out to community communications and marketing. Those guys are outstanding. They do so much good for our county, as well as our open space and trails committee and department. Jasmine and her group have been incredible to work with. We've also involved the county school districts and our public libraries in Pinal County. And then community development. Those guys don't get the thanks that they deserve. They work so hard and they get beat up a lot, but they really come to the table with us and are helping us understanding our current lighting codes and working with us to help get a dark skies initiative going. So they've been really good. Couldn't do it without them, and we couldn't do it without our local dark skies advocates and the ones in Gold Canyon, and then down by Pima County, we've had some of the Southern Arizona Dark Skies Alliance join us. And so with that, I want to introduce Sam Miller with Southern Arizona Dark Skies Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Van Driel. Mr. Miller, how are you today?
Good morning, Chairman McClure, Vice Chair Surtee, and Board. My name is Sam Miller. I am the Vice Chair of the Board of the Southern Arizona Chapter of Dark Sky International. I and my Gold Canyon colleagues here are advocates of Dark Sky International, as are our over 2,300 colleagues in 23 countries over 6 continents throughout the world. And along with the other 30 members of our Pinal County Dark Sky Committee, chaired by Connie Van Driel, who you just heard, are here to ask for your support for the 4th consecutive year of International Dark Sky Week, April 13th through the 20th, and your proclamation of that week to call attention to the adverse effects of light pollution, not only for the enjoyment of our night sky, but also because of the adverse effects on the natural world, we humans included. Dark Sky International was founded in Tucson to protect the astronomical science work of our observatories, but validated research since the late 90s has shown that almost all living things, plants, animals, insects, birds, and yes, we humans, are adversely affected by the interruption of darkness. some of which science is showing us are in serious decline. Your proclamation casts a wider net to inform the public, much better than we can do individually, to the need to protect nighttime darkness. And it should be noted that Pinal County has an enviable history of nighttime protection. Following your vote, Isabel would read the text of the proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Any questions for either Ms. Van Driel or Mr. Miller? None? Okay, thank you. May I get a motion, please, on this item?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you very much. And Ms. Peterson, would you please read the proclamation?
Chairman, Supervisors, I'm Isabel Peterson, and it's my honor to read the Dark Sky Week proclamation into the record. Whereas the aesthetic beauty and wonder of a natural night sky is a shared heritage of all humankind, inspires feelings of wonder and awe, and encourages a growing interest in science and nature, especially among young people and out-of-state area visitors within the local communities. And whereas light pollution has scientifically established economic and environmental consequences, which result in significant impacts on the ecology and human health of all communities. And whereas many people in Pinal County live under a dome of light pollution from excessive artificial lighting at night and may never experience the visual wonder or ecological and health benefits of living under a dark sky. And whereas light pollution represents a waste of natural resources amounting to roughly $3 billion per year of personal, business, and tax dollars in wasted energy costs in the United States, and contributes to diminished energy security. And whereas local sources of light pollution threaten many of the world's largest telescopes and many of the world's most revered observatories that are based in Arizona, including the Lowell Observatory, the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observation Whipple Observatory, the University of Arizona's MMT and Large Binocular Telescope Observatories, Kitt Peak National Observatory, and the Vatican Observatory, representing a statewide capital investment of more than $1.3 billion and an annual economic return of over $250 million, including an indirect attachment to more than 150,000 jobs through the aerospace and defense sector. And whereas Arizona is home to dozens of nocturnal wildlife species that rely on undisturbed night environments to hunt, mate, and thrive. And whereas Dark Sky International, headquartered in Tucson, Arizona, is the globally recognized authority on light pollution and uses International Dark Sky Week to raise awareness of light pollution, provide free education, resources, and solutions to the public to encourage the protection of and enjoyment of dark skies and responsible outdoor lighting. Therefore, we, the Pinal County Board of Supervisors, do hereby declare April 13 through 20th, 2026 as International Dark Sky Week. We ask each resident of Pinal County to join, not only in observing and pondering upon this important week, but also in raising awareness and support for protecting our precious dark skies resources.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. And I think it's picture time now. Thank you.
That's why I don't have it.
All right, I might have to squeeze you guys in a little bit more. Okay. Who's gonna hold the proclamation? Yeah, you guys can hold it together.
Chair right in the middle there.
All right, let's get you more, if I can get you guys up a little bit more on this side. Let's get you a little bit closer. Yeah, let's get you, there you go. All right, there we go. All right, looking good. All right, on the count of three. All right, here we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna take 2 more. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated.
All right, that brings us to discussion, approval, disapproval of the Purchasing Division report for April 1st, 2026. Ms. Gorman, there you are. Hi.
Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Board of Supervisors. Tracy Gorman, Purchasing Manager, and this is the Purchasing Division report for April 1st, 2026. And I'm sorry, my voice is going. In this report, the board is requested to approve 4 contract awards for RFP 263431 for on-call land use planning services. We're awarding to 3 vendors. RFP 264431 for open space, trails, and regional parks fee study. For SOQ 262631 for on-call regional park, trails, and open space planning and design services, we're awarding to 2 vendors. For SOQ 264031 for towing services for PCSO, we are awarding to 17 different vendors. The board is requested to approve 8 contract amendments for RFP 252830 for appellate indigent legal services, RFP 253130 for juvenile delinquency indigent legal services, RFP 253230 for retained dependency indigent legal services, RFP 253330 for printing and mailing evaluation notices, IFB 225627 for on-site aggregate crushing services, IFB 230928 for asphalt pulverization services, IFB 232528 for roadway pavement markings, and RFP 244529 for solid waste consultant. We are requesting the board approve 1 competition and practicable over $100,000 per procurement code section PC 1502. There are 2 cooperative purchasing agreements we would like to notify you of, as they are between $100,000 and $250,000. And lastly, we are seeking approval of 3 cooperative purchase requisitions over $250,000. I will stand for questions.
We won't make you talk anymore, I promise. Okay. Are there any questions of Ms. Gorman? See, we aren't going to ask you anymore. Okay. So with that, may I get a motion, please, to approve the Purchasing Division report? Or at least a motion to do something about it.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the
Purchasing Division.
Yeah, that one. Wow. The purchasing report dated April 1st of 2026.
We made that. Is there a second, please?
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Gorman. Go rest your voice. That brings us to item number 8. So all in the consent agenda and all items indicated alphabetically below will be handled by a single vote as part of the consent agenda unless a board member, county manager, or member of the public objects at the time the agenda item is called. I've had a request to pull item C by Supervisor Surdy. Is that still there? Okay. Are there any, let me see something here. And I'm going to ask any of the supervisors, do you have anything to pull? No. All right. County management? Public? That's why I looked right at you, Mr. Reck. What can I do?
Item AF.
AF? All right, any others that wish, sir?
Terry Stevenson, I'd like item I explained.
I, okay. Any others from the public that wish to pull an item? Hearing and seeing none, may I get a motion, please, on items A through AF minus item C, I, and AF?
So moved.
You didn't want to try to repeat that?
No.
Okay. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. We will start with Supervisor Surtees, item C.
Yeah, I've stated in the past of how lucky we are and how hard the planning and zoning commissioners work. They come in from all over the county. You know how big this county is. They don't get paid. They give up their days. And in many ways, they work harder than the supervisors. And I have to replace one who was driving all the way from Dudleyville. So this person will be driving all the way from Apache Junction. And I'm pleased that Terry Lynn Klucar will be able to be one of my P&Z commissioners. So
Is she here?
she is here.
She's here.
And with that, I would hope that we would approve item C.
All right. All right, thank you.
Is there a second?
One at a time here, so, yes, no, maybe so? You want me to do item C? Yes, ma'am, I thought so. Okay, may I get a motion, please, on item C?
I did. I said I would hope
Oh,
we would
you want to
approve
do that? That was your motion?
Yeah, that was my motion.
Sorry about that. Okay, well, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Supervisor Sturdy, yep. Did you want to take a
Picture?
picture?
Yeah.
or- Oh, we can do that, too. All right, and I'm just going to go alphabetically. So, Mr. Stevenson, you pulled I. Would you like that? You want that explained? Item I is somewhere in here. Final plat for Kings Ranch Estates. Is there Mr. Ortiz?
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, Board. Joe Ortiz, Development Services Managing Director. Yeah, I think the ultimate question was just more for clarity of what this is. This is actually a project, a replat, to clean up some access issues as far as an easement that's going to be required. So this is just part of that requirement to get it clean, to make it sufficient for access.
Okay, thank you. Does that answer your questions, Mr. Stevenson? Okay, thank you. All right, may I get a motion, please, on item I?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve item I as presented.
A motion. Finish? Okay, I have a motion to go to second. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you very much. Moves us to item AF. Mr. Reck, you have a question on that. Did you want to? You did, yes. You know what I was going to ask, so.
I'm Noel Reck from Eloy. Members of the board, you're probably thinking, here he goes again, asking another grant proposal from the sheriff's office be pulled for analysis. But no, fittingly on April Fool's Day, I'm using this as an opportunity to praise the foundation and the programs it supports. I see you're getting the humor in all this. I would ask that the Shop with the Sheriff and the HOPE and MWR programs be explained to encourage further donations and detail how those donations could be made. Thank you.
Okay, further explanation. Sheriff Teeple, I see you back there. Would you like to come talk about that? Thank you, Mr. Reck.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board of Pinal County, I'd like to thank Noel Reck for bringing this item up, because if members didn't notice, the HOPE program was not approved, and we would really appreciate donations to both programs. But Burt W. Martin is an outstanding foundation. It's a private entity that was created by a family, and they donate money to local law enforcement and to burn centers, which is obviously special to me at being a burn survivor. But they awarded us $26,875, and it's all for Shop with the Sheriff this year. And Shop with the Sheriff, if the public doesn't know, that's where members of the public, my employees, anyone you see, if you recognize a family that could benefit from Christmas gifts, that you can put them into the program. And if we have the space available to them, we meet at the Santan Valley Walmart one day, and then we meet at the Coolidge Walmart another day, and we escort the families around. They get $500 to spend. Walmart actually pays the taxes on whatever they purchase, and there is no better day in law enforcement for me in my entire career. I've been going to the Shop with the Sheriff every year we've done it, and I will continue to do so. When you walk a family around and what their Christmas presents are is laundry detergent to wash their clothes or maybe clean underwear, that really shows you that we have families that are needing. HOPE program is year-round. And that's because Shop with the Sheriff is great, but Santa doesn't come till December. And you might find somebody this month that needs assistance. One of the biggest things HOPE is used for is when we find out that a family has a tragedy like a house fire, and they can use HOPE to buy basic toiletries, they can buy food with it, whatever they need, and so that's what that program's there for. But really appreciate the public, any donations that they want to give.
Thank you, Sheriff Teeple. That's good for you, Mr. Reck. How do you donate, I guess? That's the question.
The best way is to mail to our post office box. And Teresa Navarrete, my admin assistant, she processes them, and we have a separate fund for those. And they go into a separate cost center was set up by the county. Great question.
And they can find your P.O. box by looking where?
You can just Google it. I can Google it right now, but I didn't bring my phone up. But
it's on the website.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. County website, pinal.gov, sheriff. It'll tell you. Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, people mail it to 971 Jason Lopez Circle. But anybody that's a resident of Florence knows that they don't have mailboxes at their houses. It goes to the post office, and I can tell you about a third of the mail we get out of our post office box is addressed to 971 Jason Lopez. 86. God bless the greatest recorder in the world, Dana Lewis. PO Box 867.
There we go. Okay, thank you very much. If you all got that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. With that, any other question about that? Okay, thank you. So may I get a motion, please, on item AF?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve AF as written.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you very much. At this time, I'm going to recess the Board of Supervisors' regular meeting to convene the district meeting of the Pinal County Public Health Services Board. We'll do it like that. I'll be official. And we have item 1, discussion approval, disapproval of the ratification of contract number 263631 SOQ, previously approved by the Board of Supervisors on March 4, 2026. Are there any questions about this item? Okay, hearing none. May I get a motion, please? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Never mind. Sorry, I didn't read far enough. Ms. Mendoza, you're presenting.
Thank you for reading that for me, Mr. Chairman. Now I don't have to. Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, members of the board, Marissa Mendoza, Public Health Director. I'm going to speak about items 1 and 2. They're related to each other. These two items were both approved at the March 4th Board of Supervisors meeting. They were on the purchasing report. We went through an RFP process with procurement to find these vendors, but the contracts were approved by the Board of Supervisors, not the Board of Directors of the Health District. So we are bringing them to you today to ask for approval on these two contracts for these vendors. We're going to use them for our family advocacy centers to do trauma counseling for the clients that we serve.
So
Two different vendors.
basically, they're in the wrong spot, and now we're just fixing the problem.
Yes, sir.
Just to answer questions that may be out there. Okay, thank you. Are there any questions now from the board? In that case, may I get a motion, please, to approve, or may I get a motion, please, on item 1?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item number 1 as presented.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. And then that moves us to item 2, which you have already explained. And so may I get a motion, please, on item 2, which is the ratification of contract number 263631 SOQ.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve item 2 as written.
As written, as I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. This brings us to item 3. Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. This brings us to item 3, consent items A and B. All items indicated alphabetically below will be handled by a single vote as part of the consent agenda unless a board member, county manager, or member of the public objects at the time the agenda item is called. Anyone from the board wish to pull either A or B? Seeing none. County manager, public. Hearing, seeing none, then may I get a motion, please, on items A and B?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent items dated Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, as presented.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. And there's no more business before the Public Health Services District Board. So we will adjourn this board and reconvene the Board of Supervisors' regular meeting. And that brings us to item number 10, call to the public. Call to the public is the time period for members of the public to address the Board of Supervisors to provide public input relating to subject matter within the Board of Supervisors' authority and jurisdiction. Those wishing to address the board need not request permission, although you just did, thank you. Action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter or rescheduling it for further consideration and decision at a later time. As always, when you come up, if you'd please state your name and generally where you live, we would appreciate that for the record. And I have Michael Greenslade. Good morning.
Good morning. Chairman McClure, members of the board. My name is Michael Greenslade. I'm from the town of Oracle. I have a one-page handout to go with my discussion. What I'm here to talk about is I'm a retired professional engineer, and once I retired, I moved to Oracle. I have extensive experience in flood control. I haven't worked for Maricopa County flood control and drainage issues. Seeing some of those issues in Oracle, I contacted the county and started a discussion about those issues. In response, the county provided me a document titled Oracle Area Drainage Master Plan, ADMP, dated 1996. In that plan, I reviewed, discussed 17 problem areas due to flooding in the town of Oracle, numerous buildings and properties that were flooded in a 100-year flood. And even discussed the one I was concerned about, Tucson Wash, which is controlled by a channel that's now blocked. If that wash were to flow, 100-year flow, the post office would be flooded, Justice Court would be flooded, the county equipment storage area, sandbag operation, and the helipad, they would all be flooded during the 100-year storm. 1,700 CFS flow would come down that wash. I've been told that in the 5-year CIP beginning in 2031, that some funds will be made available to restart this study that was done 30 years ago. In my opinion, that's 5 years too much. And I'm asking for the board to look at the current CIP funding and see if we can restart those studies now and not later. Currently, it also am requesting that the board install some alert gauges so we can monitor the conditions in our area. The county emergency response people can monitor these conditions. And this is important since we had fires last year that were floods, could be a historic problem. And finally, I'm looking at getting some maintenance procedures dealt with in Oracle. We have very few drainage facilities that are not destroyed, blocked, buried, and I like that to start happening now. And I do have one document, paragraph I like to read that was in the Oracle ADMP developed 30 years ago. Oracle, like most communities its size, has experienced fragmented development over many years, with little or no consideration for the overall drainage impact. The neglect has resulted in numerous drainage problems, such as flooded streets, sediment erosion, deposition, pavement damage, ponding, and flooding of buildings and property. The town of Oracle is unincorporated and has no mechanism for regulation of drainage issues. In design practices, therefore, the burden of drainage management and design oversight for the community of Oracle is consigned to Pinal County. This is in a document that's 30 years old, and nothing has changed.
Thank you, Mr. Greenstead. We got it. Mr. County Manager, can we look into this, please? Thank you. All right. Next is Mr. McCain.
Good morning, Chairman McClure, Pinal County Board of Supervisors, staff, friends. I'm Barry McCain from City of Maricopa. First, I'd like to invite voters to look at the Safe America Act of 2026 on voting that's in the U.S. Senate now. Our framers of our U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights were obviously writing it because of experience and were showing fairness. The political bullying Maricopa City Council has been anything but fair. Political bullying undermines the democratic process and rule of laws that we should all be enjoying no matter which political party we belong. Political bullying can distort political representation, decision-making, and implementation of policies that affect the public, can inhibit the ability of civil service to speak truth to power and act impartially, which will affect how well government policy is formulated and implemented. This behavior is corrosive by even corrupting the political environment and lead to a lack of representation of those that have given the trust to elected officials, allowing more likely for them to be exposed to bullying. Chair McClure, I have been proud of my associations with this board since 2012. In my humble opinion, the pathetic attempt of Maricopa City Council and Mr. Vitello, metaphorically speaking, put a Trojan horse on this board is neither acceptable or should be tolerated. I'm comfortable in saying that Mr. Vitello has received his severance pay, and the integrity of this board is most important in serving the public, as demonstrated by our U.S. Constitution. Chair McClure, I ask that Mr. Vitello and Maricopa City Council be fined appropriately for their incompetence and betrayal of Maricopa residents and set up an account to financially help the children of Pinal County that have been ultimately hurt by this cabal, which has systematically undermined our voting system. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Coward, you're up, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, still, yes.
Chair and board members. I'm here just representing Gold Canyon Community, Inc., and the area of Gold Canyon to mention that about a month ago, I addressed the board requesting that the county fulfill its plan for Gold Canyon in expanding the new right lane on Kings Ranch Road, that Supervisor Surdy mentioned earlier. And we appreciate the effort. It started Monday, and they should finish up pretty soon. So that's really going to help our community, and we really support that. So I just wanted to express our community's thanks for the activity of the county to help us out. I'd also like, on personal privilege here, as a former poll worker, as Dana mentioned before, any effort for making the poll workers count ballots after a 9-hour day is ludicrous. I don't think you'll get a whole lot of people volunteering to do that job if they know that's going to be part of it. So I just wanted to throw that out as someone who's done the work for about 10 years. We don't want to go down that road. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coward. I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm sorry, I failed to introduce myself. Dave Coward from Gold Canyon.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McManamy, I'm sorry if I just wrecked that, but I think I got it right.
Good morning, Supervisors. I have provided a document to the clerk of the board for your guys' review. I want to begin by saying that this is not just about me. My fight has already been lost. I'm here to ensure that no other citizen of Pinal County has to go through what we have experienced, and then the laws is applied consistently and fairly, that no individual is given preferential treatment. So I respectfully request of the board direct your staff to make a legally binding determination with independent review on whether swimming pools are subject to zoning setbacks. Direct the staff to find the ordinance that I have missed that was passed by the Pinal County Board of Supervisors that specifically exempted pools from the zoning ordinance, as they have clearly been defined in the zoning ordinance since 1962 and never explicitly been exempted. Direct the staff to reopen the code compliance case CC 0554-23 as the pool has been recorded to still be physically on our property. Direct the staff to consult with the Arizona Ombudsman regarding whether records in the county's possession must be produced beyond retention periods and what constitutes a prompt response, as multiple public records requests have remained pending now for 3 months without being assigned to the department. Refer to the handling of this case to the State Attorney General's Office for independent review of potential misuse of public resources, public records compliance, and whether actions taken were within the authority of the Arizona revised statutes and the Pinal County ordinances. Supervisor Goodman recently wrote, "We did what we are sworn to do. We upheld the laws." In the board's own referral, oh, sorry. And also on April 3rd, 2024, in one of your board meetings, you had outside counsel that advised you that the county's role is to uphold building codes and apply the laws as they exist. My research shows that for over 60 years, Pinal County has required swimming pools to meet zoning setbacks under both zoning ordinance and building codes. You will find there was a 1994 building code created specifically for pools, the Pinal County Pool Safety Code, which forced zoning certification for pools. That code was later merged into the 1997 main building code, and those codes have never been modified to exempt pools specifically. Code compliance confirmed this when they issued a notice of violation based on those exact requirements, both building codes and zoning ordinances. The code compliance manager staff stated that the pool must either meet setback requirements or obtain a variance. The pool still remains physically on our property. The county has been notified multiple times, including 3 recorded surveys on record. The only modification document, which is what they have said is the reason the pool can stay based off from the building codes, is a document that is unstamped hard copy drawing. So I'm sorry I could not finish this soon enough, but as you know, I will follow up with you.
Thank you, and can you please state your name and generally?
Rodney McManamy. I am a property owner in Apache Junction and in the county, and I live in Bloomington, Indiana currently.
Thank you. And Mr. County Manager, can we do what we need to do here and help, Mr.? Thank you. Any others that wish to speak at the call before the board? Mr. Rack.
Noel Reck from Eloy. There are those that during call to the public present the same tired points, meeting after meeting, beating them like a dead horse. I don't want to do that, but I must revisit one item for the sake of transparency and accountability. A few meetings ago, I presented concerns and questions about a grant proposal from the Sheriff's Office. No one from the Sheriff's Office was here to address them. I asked that the proposal be tabled, but despite that, the proposal was approved 4-1. At the next meeting, I asked for an explanation of that vote. I have received explanations from Supervisors Goodman and Miller and appreciate their willingness to discuss their votes. Supervisor McClure, the lone no vote, need not explain. Supervisor Vitiello, who declined to respond to my request telephonically. Of course, I'm critical of that decision, and I asked Supervisor Vitiello, if it were you pulling an agenda item with obvious problems with no sponsor available to address your concerns, would you then vote to approve it? I wouldn't think so. And today, I ask, will you respond to that question? Moving on, where is County Attorney Miller? Apparently, he's decided to quit attending these meetings because he's mad at the board or too busy making spurious videos. If he can't even fulfill this most basic responsibility of the job, he should resign. Lastly, I see a perfect storm coming that the board must approach proactively in conjunction with applicable county departments. Donald Trump's war with Iran has placed the nation and the world in a precarious situation, a war strictly focused on tactics with no apparent strategic plan. Unbelievably, sanctions on Russian and Iranian oil have been lifted because he can't take the heat over rising gas prices, giving the Russian economy new life and a reconstituted war effort against Ukraine, while funding the Iranian regime and their war effort against us. Will boots on the ground soon be required, some of which may belong to men and women from Pinal County? He's asking for another $200 billion for the war, and congressional Republicans are floating cutting health care even further to pay for that. How will Pinal County deal with even more people losing their health care, particularly those already facing a crisis in rural areas? Seeing supply chain disruptions for many commodities, experts predict that even if the war ends soon, ramifications may last through 2027 and perhaps into 2028. Gas prices aren't going to go down instantly. A worldwide recession is a real possibility, and many industries will feel the pain. Take farming. Already reeling from the tariffs, farmers will likely face further financial losses and the risk of losing their farms, in many cases a loss that can never be regained. How will Pinal County deal with the problems that will create? In whatever ways you can, the board must be proactive. You can't wait until the final hits come from the storm. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others that wish to speak before the board? Mr. Reveles.
Roberto Reveles, resident of Gold Canyon. I want to make a contribution to the theme of today, be kind. Be kind to nature, the dark skies, be kind to children. I want to contribute to the be kind to county officials. I've been a frequent asker of numerous questions at the last minute, which has been totally unfair, as I've said before. I think it's totally unfair for county officials to have items on the county consent agenda without knowing what some of us curious last-minute questioners might ask. And in chatting with Deputy County Manager Shepard, we discussed what I think is an excellent idea. I had suggested revising the criteria for putting topics on the consent, but I think a better, more effective solution is that the public, when we see items on the consent agenda on which we have questions, that we submit our questions through Clerk Natasha Kennedy so that she can in turn inform county officials about these pending last-minute questions. My contribution to be kind to county officials. I hope you publicize this process that I think will be able to get questions answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vels. I think that would be helpful, yes. All right. Any others that wish to speak before the board? Seeing none, we'll close the call to the public. And Supervisor Vidiello, you were called out. Did you care to speak? No, you're good. I was called out. I would just say that we have no control over Maricopa City Council. That's the whole nother government entity. We can't deal with that. So that's that. And that was it, I believe. No others are called out, so thank you very much. That brings us to item number 11, public hearing, discussion and approval, disapproval of resolution number 2026-SUP-012-25. And I'm going to let Mr. Amaya talk about this, please.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. I am Sam Amaya. I'm the planner assigned to this case. I could just click? So the name of it is SUP-012-25, or it is by the name US-AZ-5285 Poodle Puppies WCF. That is the naming convention of the wireless facility.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
It's not about
I
wired.
was waiting for a dog kennel or something like that.
That is just the name of the facility. So for the proposal, they are requesting to approve a special use permit to install a new 125-foot wireless facility for Verizon designed as a monopine. It is 129 feet to the top of the branches within a 50-foot by 50-foot compound on the portion of the 10-acre site. It is located southeast of Junipero Road and Haley View Street, and is south of West Desert Valley Road in unincorporated Pinal County. It has the APN of 501-67-012B. The landowner is James Pohl, and the applicant is Maria Pacheco of Centerline Communication. She is in attendance. So this shows the location of the facility compared to the rest of the county. It is close to the border with, to the western border. And then this is the current zoning of it. It is GR, so that does require the special use permit for the wireless control facility. And then this is the vicinity map. It is, as well as the aerial. It is surrounded mainly by single-family residential. And then this were the site photos taken by staff in all directions, as well as the notice signs that were put up by staff and the applicants. So the surrounding use, as I said, is surrounded mainly by single-family residential. And then by the applicant, will provide essential infrastructure to improve coverage and capacity for residents and businesses. Will also support public safety, economic development, and overall quality of life in the county. And then the site does not have any history of development with the county. So this is a site plan of the submitted wireless facility in relation to the rest of the parcel. It is on the right. So this is a close-up of the facility. You would see the monopine in the center with the auxiliary equipment as well. And then these are the pre and post capacity and coverages maps. I think that explains it a little bit. And then this is a simulation that was provided by the applicant for what the tower would look like compared to the surrounding area. So just to go over the plan a little bit, the tower, like I said, it is 125 feet, 129 to the top of the lightning rod / branches. Within the 50-foot, 50 by 50 compound, it will include multimeter utility center, equipment cabinets, as well as a backup diesel generator. Like I said, the access would be from North Haley View Street, from the west, and from Junipero Road. Both streets intersect at the northwest corner of the site. Utilities, it will only use electric as the facility is unmanned. And when it is operational, should it be approved, only periodic technicians will visit for maintenance. So the self-design, I will say, it will be a monopine paint to match our code. Our code does say that monopines are not to exceed 90 feet. This one is 125 feet. Because of our setbacks, it is required to have 1 foot per height of the tower. It does exceed that on all sides. And then there are electric wires that do overhang throughout the property. They are approximately 288 feet from those high tension lines. And then the site will also follow Lighting Zone 1 standards. Public participation was met. I'm sorry, it was cut off a little bit. We did receive 1 letter of opposition from a member of the public. And then at the commission, the February 19th Planning and Zoning Commission, the commissioners voted 8-0, subject to the 19 stipulations. Should you approve this SUP, staff recommends the 19 stipulations to go with it. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Amaya? I know I've got some over here, and I've got you. I'll start with you, Mr. Miller. I know where I'm taking my giant bottles to wash them, but after you, please.
You're telling me that it's in our code that we have to make it look like a pine tree?
Yes.
Which that does not look like a pine tree. But besides that, why? Why do we have, it's a tower. It's who put that in the code?
Did we vote that?
Did we vote that in? Because
I wasn't on the board at that time.
We need to take it out.
Chair-
One more
Chair.
stipulation, remove the pine tree. It's a
Chair.
tower. And you can't make it look like anything else other than a tower. And that is, I would object to that. Look, not the tower itself. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You're good. Supervisor Vitiello, I think
Could you
have.
go back to the picture?
Which one?
The pine tree.
The simulation?
Bottle brush.
Mr. Miller said it all.
It's
What
horrible.
I'm getting at is, again, I don't know if we could change that, at least get it out of the code, or if that's a stipulation that we can put there today, but, again, not against the tower. It's, as you could see, it just
Doesn't fit.
stand out like what about a water tower or something? I mean, I'm just curious if there's
Making it
something.
the Laurel cactus.
Yeah, yeah. Again, not against the tower, I'm just wondering, the neighbors have been calling me, you might have gotten one opposition, but I've gotten the phone calls, and it's just a big sore thumb sticking out in the middle of the desert thank you, Mr. Miller.
Supervisor Goodman, you have a comment?
I guess there is a positive side to this. I've got these Afghan pine trees in my yard, in my pasture, and I'm cleaning those pine cones up all the stinking time. So, and this doesn't give off, it doesn't shed like mine does, so I guess that is one positive thing, but I think mine is, if that's what we really need to, the last item on our agenda, this is something we ought to be really looking at seriously and considering as far as putting that kind of restriction on something like this.
And
So,
I know the cell companies don't like it because they can't add other things to the tower. It's very
Yeah.
difficult, and they look ratty after a few years. I would ask Ms. Roberts, can we amend this and say you don't have to make it a pint? No, we can't do that. I already see you saying no, so.
Why not?
Currently, this is provided for in the code and complies with the code, so it's not a basis. You'd have to change the code.
Okay.
Are they willing to do that?
In 10 minutes?
Are they willing to
change the
wait?
code.
I mean, are they able to wait?
Well, that's the question.
Okay.
Are they willing to wait till we change that? I mean, I don't know. What's their timeline for this?
I will defer to the applicants for their timeline.
Barry Weatherspoon with Centerline Communications. Their timeline is they're trying to facilitate this as soon as possible, just to get coverage in the area. They had residents complaining about lack of service, so they were trying to build it sooner than later.
That's the issue.
Okay. All right, well, I mean, we
Slow
don't,
roll the pine tree?
what's that?
Build a tower and slow roll the pine?
Maybe
until
they
we
can't.
change the code?
Can they do it in phases?
I guess my question would, is there anything else you've ever built besides this that maybe you, if they wanted to change it to a water, just using a water tower, because that was several people who said that to me. Is it something that could be considered?
So there are different kind of towers that could be considered. I mean, I like the plain tower for you, which isn't allowed in the code, but a water tank, this tower in particular is built to house up to 4 carriers. So being that tall, it wouldn't really look like a water tank. It'd look more like some type of silo, which I didn't think looked good, right? Other trees, a palm tree, I don't think would fit in because you kind of hide the top carrier, but then you don't hide the bottom carriers. The pine just blended in, and a cactus isn't really, you would just have antennas sticking out of a green pole.
Yeah.
Let's push this through the planning and zoning area where we could just say, like, get rid of that dumb thing.
Well, they've agreed to it, so I guess.
Oh, yeah,
we
no.
don't- And we don't have the authority
No.
to change it.
But we'll be looking into it.
We need to bring that up on amending the code. But,
Okay, well, thank you. Any questions for the
and I want the coverage out there. I can imagine the coverage
Yeah,
is
coverage has gotta get
It's
there.
important, and so, anyway.
So any other questions from the applicant, for the applicants? Hearing none, thank you. So at this point, it's a public hearing. I'm gonna open the public hearing. Any members of the public wish to comment on this item? Oh, Mr. McManamy. Please, no, you have to
Gotta
come
come
forth.
up.
Come forth, please.
Say your name. Tell us where you're from.
Yep, the whole name and where you're from thing, and, you know.
Rodney McManamy from Bloomington, Indiana again. I didn't know this was on the agenda, and I have no expertise in this field, but being a mechanical engineer and from my limited understanding of the telecommunications, is I imagine one of the reasons that they are looking at not just allowing a tower is because as our cellular speeds improve, what has happened is every time we have a jump up in speed, you have to bring towers in closer together to have an increase in speed. The only way you end up getting it is by shorter wavelengths. The towers have to be closer together. So where this tower is now, in the future, you're probably going to be putting a tower in between the 2 towers. They might be able to tell you if that's correct, my understanding of that, but I imagine that's why it was put in the code and why it is in there. Yes, it's a benefit, is it ugly, is it not ugly? Some people like them, some people don't. I mean, there was a palm tree one we just went by the other day that my mother-in-law said, "What is that? Is that a tree?" And I'm like, well, kind of, so I mean, in the place where it was. So yes, this kind of stands out because there's nothing around. But when you guys move forward at looking at getting rid of this, just keep in mind that you are likely going to have more and more towers popping up in the future in closer proximity to each other in order to facilitate the speeds increase, from my limited understanding, so.
Thank you. Are there others from the public that wish to speak on this item? Hearing and seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and ask for any other comments from the board. I don't hear anybody. I mean, so hopefully, so what you're saying here, what I got out of that is that we're hoping for very high-speed telecommunications so that we can build a forest out there. That's what I see here. So, okay. All right. So with that, if there's no other comments, I'm going to ask for a motion from the board, please. On item 11.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve item 11 as presented with the 19 stipulations.
There we go. I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Hearing one. Motion passes 4-1. Thank you very much. Thank you. This brings us to item number 11. This is a discussion, approval, disapproval of ordinance number 2026-PZ-035-25, an ordinance approving case PZ-035-25. And with us is, let's see, Mr. Amaya is the presenter on this one.
Chairman,
Welcome again. Yes.
If I may, just for the record, item number 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item 12. Sorry if I didn't
You
mention.
said 11.
Oh, you know,
It's okay.
yeah, we were going to relive that. Okay, I'm sorry. Item number 12, yes, Mr. Amaya.
Hello again, Chair and members of the board. I am Sam Amaya, the planner assigned to this case. So this case is in reference to the planning and zoning case PZ 035-25, and it is titled Roof Tile Road Rezone, excuse me. So the proposal, they are proposing a rezone of approximately 10 acres from GR to industrial I3 to develop this currently vacant site with industrial uses. It is currently located on South Roof Tile Road, southwest of it, and West Peters Road in the Casa Grande area of unincorporated Pinal County. Landowner is TR Nova LLC, and then the applicant is Kent Volkmer. Let it be known that he is in attendance. So this shows the county map in relation to this site. It is south of the city of Casa Grande. And then this is the current zoning, and then the proposed, it is surrounded by CI1 and CIB to the west, as well as the city of Casa Grande to the right, or to the east, I should say. So this is a vicinity map. The browner areas on the northeast is the city of Casa Grande. And then this is the current aerial of it. So this is the sign that was put out by staff as well as the applicant. And then the current view of the site. So just as to sum it up, it is, excuse me, approximately 10 acres, and they are requesting I3 industrial development with industrial uses. It does not require a comprehensive plan amendment, as it is already employment. And then for rezone, it is similar to other surrounding areas with industrial uses. The site could be accessed through South Roof Tile Road. And then because we don't have a site plan currently, the applicants would have to apply for a site plan review at the time of development. Same for traffic, drainage. And then currently, we have not had any letters of support or opposition submitted towards this application. So neighborhood participation, currently no letters have been submitted, as I said. And then at the February 19th meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 8-0, subject to the 12 stipulations outlined in the staff report. Should you approve this motion, staff recommends the 12 stipulations as presented.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Amaya from the board? Hearing none, just scowls. No, I'm sorry. No, none? Okay, thank you very much. And the presenter is Mr. Volkmer. You've missed us so much you had to come back.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, good afternoon. Kent Volkmer, I live in Casa Grande. I am here representing the owners. I realize we're getting close to lunch. I realize you guys have been here for 2.5 hours, and it's been a bit. And a wise man once told me, quit when you're ahead, which means shut up as an attorney. Never one to take good advice. I'm going to talk a little bit with your permission, because I think this is something important. This is a little bit different than what we're normally seeing, or what you're normally seeing and we see in our community. There are parcels of land that have been either misused or left vacant for long periods of time. And as our community continues to grow, we have a very small percentage of our land that's available for private ownership. At last check, it was, I think, 17% is available to be owned by the public. Everything else is owned, well, by individuals. Everything else is federal land, it's state land, it is reservation land. There's a lot of different uses. So it's important we maximize land. This is 10 acres that literally abuts an open pit mine. The neighbor on the photo it shows to the southeast is an open pit mine. There's very few things that can actually go there given that use. There is what used to be a paper mill that is catty-corner from this property that actually burned down in Supervisor Miller's district within the last 10 years, and it's sat pretty much unused. So there's been this 10 acres of land that's been used for all kinds of different stuff. It was used as an unlicensed medical marijuana grow facility. It was used, part of it was a church. It had been a civil construction site. It had been a dump site. There had been all kinds of different things. And then my team came along and they said, hey, we think that this piece of land actually has some value, but we've got to get it zoned properly because a GR really limits the use. So what happened is it took us about 14 months to get to this point. But what we did is we met with the county and we were able to work with Mr. Denton and Mr. Kraus and Mr. Amaya and their entire team. And we were able to convince them that we don't have to have an end user. That was the initial hangup. They wanted to say, what's going in there? We want to see a site plan. We want you to tell us what's going to be there, how it's going to be used, how much traffic's going to be there. Well, the issue is you have this land that took 14 months, presumably, to get zoned industrial, so we can't find the end user. We have to actually have the proper zoning before we can find and market it to the end user. So nothing but kudos to the team once they kind of explained it. I know Mr. Wanamaker's not here anymore. I think you mentioned some of our good ones leaving. He was scooped up by Santan. But originally the county said, well, we need to have a drainage report. We need to have a traffic impact analysis. So we were able to sort of appeal to him and say, but that makes no sense. You're going to make us spend tens of thousands of dollars to create a site plan that's not going to be used, that's going to be a drainage plan that's not going to be used, and it's going to be a traffic impact analysis that has absolutely no bearing on reality. And Chris was able to say, you know what, you're right. And the way they addressed it, and I think it's the right way, is they said, hey, we're going to make it a stipulation. So when you find your end user, you're still going to have to come back in and get this approved. This doesn't give you carte blanche to do whatever you want, whenever you want. There is still some regulation. I will tell you this was a conversation among the zoning board. I know Supervisor Surdy talked about how much work they do. They do. I mean, they were asking all kinds of questions. There was really good discussion about it. They even asked about the meetings. They take their job very, very seriously. The one thing I would ask is that you encourage them that this makes sense in some cases. To do otherwise would require you to only allow billionaires to come in and to buy these giant swaths of land. It prevents smaller landowners from actually getting the best use of their land. And given where we sit at today, that's not something that I would advocate for Pinal County. With that, my clients are happy with all the stipulations. We're aware of them. We agree with them. And we would ask you to adopt this as presented. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Faulkner. Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't really have a question. I just have an observation. This is exactly what I've been asking for 13 years. These properties, you need to have that zoning in place to make it marketable. There's no end user. There will be an end user, and that end user will pay to have all that work done to meet all the county ordinances and requirements. And we're policy setters. This needs to be the policy. The policy is we allow people to rezone property and in a status and then let them market it to bring an end user in, because that 10 acres could be cut into 2 5s. That 10 acres could be cut into a 9 and a 1. I mean, you don't really know, but you now have an opportunity to decrease the use time by 14 months.
Correct.
Because someone comes along, well, 14 months before we can get you rezoned. That's ridiculous. So this, and I don't know where the county has to go to make this the new policy, but it needs to be put in place. So thank you for enduring that, and thank you to the county staff that has allowed you to go forward at this level. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Volkmer? Hearing none, okay. Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. I will open the public hearing. Are there any from the public that wish to speak on this item? Hearing and seeing none, I will close the public hearing, and I'll ask for motion, please, on this, on item 12.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 12 as presented with 12 stipulations.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second, please?
Second.
See, 2 times that's a 4. I have a 4. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. And thank you very much. That brings us to item 13, discussion of members, board members' requests for future agenda items. I bet I'm going to have some. Supervisor Goodman, you're looking at me.
Yeah, a couple of them. I appreciate you giving staff direction on regards to the gentleman that came forward and talked about the swimming pool. That's not the only one that he's not the only one that I've heard that we've had issues with here in the county when in regards to swimming pools. So I think that's something we really need to take a deep dive in and assess. Oh, I did not mean any pun to that, but I came out that way. That was by accident. But the other item is, the other thing is, I think we really need to start moving forward on a lot of these ordinances and codes that we have, and we've been studying them. I don't know where we're at. I'd like to start to review them ourselves before it goes out to the public. At least have us as a board start to review those, and I'm sure that's coming. But I think that's something. Then, in regards to one of the things, and I'm trying to remember what, the cell tower, I think we need to really address that one, the swimming pool and this, sooner than later. I think we really need to look at that and evaluate what's going on there.
All right, thank you. Supervisor Miller, you have a...
I think my comments on the last agenda item is, I really, really don't understand why we've not gone there. Because that method is used throughout the state of Arizona and counties and cities all over. So we just kind of seem backwards about it. So I don't know what it takes to change it because.
All right, thank you. Any other comments from the board? All right. Hearing and seeing none. You have those directions, Supervisor Lou, or, sorry, Congressman. No, what are you? City manager, county manager, whatever the heck you are. You got it? Okay. All right, and there's no other business before the board. We are adjourned. Thank you. And for those of you that can't hear it, just while you're still here, there's been a